fantastic readers tonight. Later, we're going to be hearing from Yuko Otomo, Timothy Liu, and Ilka Scobie. But first up tonight is the one and only Sam Ross. Is anybody here for Sam Ross? All right. Is anybody not here for Sam Ross? That's fine too.
This is a poem called Shaker Loops. It's after a piece of music by John Adams. It's not trying to be opaque, it's just the title. I saw a box of bees labeled Redbeard on the warehouse roof. Something new sitting there, living at me. Now's a night of near chemical heat. Chemical heat. At the lake. Shuffle of pages startles the dogs at shore. Can you hear me now? Is this okay? Should I be further away? Is this good?
It's good.
Okay. I'm going to start over. This is my Saturn returning. It's horrible. I saw a box of bees labeled Redbeard on the warehouse roof. Something new sitting there, living at me. Now's a night of near chemical heat at the lake. Shuffle of pages startles the dogs at shore. I'll go try on my thickest American accent, my mother once said, and pretend like I don't know what I'm doing. Water laces into ripples, stones and water spiders. Wedges of light turn to bright cuneiform on the surface. Strobe and blind, too quick to translate. In the city, a restaurant leaves an offering, a plate of dinner and incense at the side door nightly. That's what forgiveness looks like to me, but I can't watch the flies that gather without feeling them fumble, blind, inside my mouth.
I'm going to begin with an old poem, but I think it's very relevant considering Kim Kardashian's recent efforts to break the internet. And this is called Kardashian Confidential. And I binge-watched the first Kardashian thing when I was recovering from a dental nightmare, and that's where Kardashian Confidential was born. 3 non-muses. The surgically enhanced sisters, Kim's alabaster perfection, Khloe's foreshortened nose, Kourtney's persuasive chin. Of course, it's the mother Kris, who is my actual peer, but her winsome charms elude me. It's the siblings who are the sparkleless stars. Actually, their very lack of charisma enchants. An American amalgamation of privilege and mundane beauty, the constant media avalanche, a photographic plethora, ebony eyes, long raven tresses, enhanced curves. Watch the girls pose and preen. Kourtney fights with feckless boyfriend. Khloe's snappy comebacks and philosophical quips. And Kim, an empty bootylicious vessel and her marital misadventures. Celebrities who don't act, entertain, sing, or dance. They bicker about board games, perform in infomercials, compulsively shop and sell out. Are second-generation reality stars. And the first time I read this poem, I said, I'm reading a poem about Kardashian. People pretended they didn't know who they were, but we can't do that anymore.
I liked it. I liked it when he fucked me when I was half asleep, as if I were a pot of coffee he was used to putting on before anyone else in the house got up. Give him whatever the hell he wants, my mother said, with shiners in both eyes. Heirloom Limoges smashed on kitchen tile. The body of my mother being rolled into the morgue's gas jets is what I picture whenever he enters me, knowing I can't bring myself to visit her grave, not once. It would be the most disingenuous act, my therapist says, who knows her only through stories that I've told, most of them lies. I actually don't like it when he fucks me with skirt hiked past my hips and our hour isn't even up. His impatience, something I'd rather deal with off the clock. Otherwise, what am I paying him for? Surrogate father who fucks me better than my own father ever did? Who spares me the command to look into his face with blackened eyes as he comes, knowing I can't be trusted, not by anyone. That's called building trust. You know, I had a session yesterday with my therapist. We were celebrating 8 years of knowing each other, biblically. And, you know, I was asking him about, he's been married to this guy. They've been together 25 years. And I just said, you know, is he your soulmate? Is he the most important person? He goes, oh, no. I wouldn't use that word. And he said, I would say, though, there's an ongoing vitality. And I looked at him and I said, I would definitely need more than that. This is the gift. Had the kind of smile abuse survivors had, a kind of smile that turned me on. Was used to prefacing his disclosures with, never actually told this to anyone before. Meaning, everyone else in the room had probably heard. So adept at keeping us from talking to one another about secrets that he told, it became more difficult to tell exactly who the abusers were. Which one of us had done those things that left those scars? It was what drew me in. The chance that I could be the one who did this thing to him, even if we had hardly met. That I could do this thing that had been done to him, only better. Inflicting an even deeper wound than the one he'd sustained, the one he made me promise never to disclose. That much we had in common. This confidence we shared. Fucking him over a pleasure. Knowing the way I'd be remembered was to hurt him all the more beyond what he believed had been the limit. I would take him there over and over, only asking that he try to keep it a secret between us, knowing that this in fact was the gift he'd never keep to himself. When everyone was imbibing, it just seems so weird that culturally we play music really loud because we like it, and then we scream to have our conversations. Right? Everyone was. And I just thought, what planet are we on? That this is what we do here. Okay, I'm going to close with 2 really short poems. I'm writing a series based on 12-step slogans as titles. So this is for all of you relapsers. This is called, I bet they've never had a 12-step meeting here. Just a guess. Easy does it. He works all summer and won't think twice about taking me into his mouth. Says he has as much feeling for me as he does an Eskimo pie. Could plow through a box in a single afternoon if it were hot enough. This too shall pass. You think of the time a stranger put his fingers inside of you at the back of a bus, smearing a little blood on the seat next to yours when he got off. A man who didn't even ask your name. No one talks about what lingers on in the mind, whether everything went faster or slower than you wanted, only knowing it's more than over.
All right, Timothy Liu here at the outfit. Yuko Otomo.
Thank you, Jason. I felt like he was talking about somebody else. I can't relate to that. Anyway, so glad that all my friends and some people I don't know, but whatever, thank you. I'd like to read some poem for Picasso. First, from this book. I'm very proud of this book. It's hard, it's kind of strange to say that I'm proud of it, but I am. It's a wonderful book. It's a collection of all the poems I wrote on art, because I love making art and also looking at art and dealing with art. So over the years, I've been writing poems whenever I felt like writing. So this is a collection, and I just read. Now Picasso is in again because Picasso Museum in Paris is reopened, and then all the conspiracy of the art scene is making Picasso a big deal now. So Pace and Gagosian, actually they are good shows, you should go and see. And I read one poem for Picasso. I have a long one, but I'm passing that one. Too serious. I hope I can read it. That's right. An artist who had a long name. A found poem for Picasso. Pablo Diego Jose Francisco de Paula Juan Nepomuceno Maria de la Remedias Cipriano de la Santísima Trinidad Luis E. Picasso. That's his real name. And we just say Picasso, but he has one of the longest names. I don't even have middle name. That's true. We don't have middle names in Japanese language. Okay. I'd like to read some poems from the poems I wrote for Americans by Robert Frank. If you don't know this book, you better check it out because it's one of the most important photography books with one of the most heartbreakingly beautiful introduction by Jack Kerouac. It's great. And I wrote some poems looking at his photos. I start with New York City. New York City, a man is a woman and a woman is a man. When you hide your face, the world reveals itself clearly to you. Human hip bones, harder than those iron fences, wind swifter, wiser, and faster than fish bones do. Troubles, pranks, tricks. A woman is a man, and a man is a woman, and feet are minds, and eyes are feet. Where's today's catch?